Anyways, back to what I was saying, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, on this day of Saturday, December 18th, 2021, it is 8:57 a.m. approximately, and my phone is on 67%, and it is currently hooked to a charger. I'm currently using Wi-Fi over at my sister's house, which is 816 West Lenox Avenue in Springfield, Illinois, 62704, I would believe. But anyways, back to what I was saying. Oh, by the way, subscribe to my channel, The Book of Lies. Anyways, I was standing outside in Jacksonville, Illinois, as I was saying earlier, at 322 Northeast Street. And now, you see, the most amazing part of the experience was everything that I spoke about, diamond, all those things were from a spiritual aspect. There may have been parts of it that were real, and parts that were fake due to schizophrenia within my system. But the spiritual part was not fully understood at that moment. I was still learning from the vision in which I was envisioned and given from the Lord God himself in heaven, not the God of this world. He's lost that title. And like I said, I noticed that they spray painted the logs, the light poles, and things like that, right? And I noticed that they started nailing metal tags up there. So I said, let me inspect this, because I do understand some things about metal. Metal can do things if you have the right equipment. So what I did was I went in the house, which is 322 Northeast Street, Jacksonville, Illinois, which is my baby mother, Courtney Thomas's mom, Kimberly Thomas's house. And I noticed that there was certain type of electronics in that house. Maytag, dryer, okay, and the refrigerator. Okay, the refrigerator was the most intelligent part. Okay, and I viewed/analyzed the fridge and everything about it. From the skeletal system of the fridge's layout, I can tell that it was hooked to something that was being controlled from a nearby system. The nearby system would have to be maybe Ameren, City Water, Light, and Power. That was easy. And those controls were connected to other components that were connected to Ameren, City Water, Light, those type of places. And from the structure of the skeletal system within the fridge, I was able to understand the plumbing of the house. And understanding the plumbing of the house, it told me that the house was specifically designed for something else. And from the structure, which I got from the skeletal system of the refrigerator that was in our house, I understood the skeletal system and the structure of the underground area within the Jacksonville area. And I noticed that there was tunnels there. And I also knew that those tunnels leading back to Springfield, Illinois. Ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. That is exactly how good I am. That is exactly how good I am when it comes to analyzing. And what I'm saying now, it does not take a telephone to do. You will never, ever be able to do it that way. And no one can say, oh, he hacked his way into knowing this. Because I said nothing about the wiring. I spoke about the skeletal system. The skeletal system could consist of wiring, but that wasn't directly brought into play. The skeletal system can be any part of the fridge in the inside, even when you open up and look in the inside. Now, the subpart skeletal system, which is the wiring and the connectivity. Okay, a real electrician, the only type of electrician that I know, would be able to simultaneously understand the cross patterns and cross highways of wiring that are needed to be fit correctly in a certain area in alignment to match a criteria. That criteria was found. It was found to have been connected to something alternate or an alternative connectivity. I also noticed that the fridge was Wi-Fi / Bluetooth capable. I also found within the skeletal structure of the wiring that it carried a very unique chip. A very unique chip. A chip that is similar to Qualcomm that would allow it to communicate with even the Android system. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? 1 second. Whoops, I lied. Be right back. That's a little weird. That, ladies and gentlemen. So this is what I did. I looked at the make and the model of the fridge, which doesn't make a difference to Mr. Dentney / Alan James Dent. It doesn't make a difference, aka the Phantom Director. It does not make a difference to me at all what the make and model is, but it'll give me a clue as to whether this company knows about it or not. You see, those questions too have to be arisen and they have to be asked when this type of substance is presented before you, me, or anyone else. So I did just that. I asked them, the company, without them knowing it. They answered me without them knowing it. And there's only a few people in this world that can display such an ability. Me. It could be taught to others, but an aspect of why. How the why is there is because there's a question arising as to what would they do with it. And that most people in this world have a tendency of not doing right, which means there's wrong present. So there's a precaution within my area, and my reach, and my range of thought that says that I must be very careful as to whom is given that type of uniqueness of knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, which surpasses even your many undrilled, undisciplined minds. Just saying, it goes in line and in order with the alignment which the occasion presents. That's just it. So I proceeded to look at every appliance in the house, even the microwave, and noticed that the microwave carried a very unique transmitter. A transmitter for radiation. And by looking at the transmitter through the outer layer into the skeletal system of the microwave, I was able to determine the componencies that it carried. The componencies that it carried semi-mediocre unique, but it was there. Inspected slash drilled, interrogated the microwave with my sight. And came to the conclusion that this is very unique about the microwave and the way radiation is used through the microwave. Okay. Now watch this here. A microwave is built with coils, heating coils, or coil pads. Now, depending on the type of microwave you get, it could come with many different heating pads or coil pads. It could come with more than just two. But let's just say on an average basis, we come across one such as Courtney Thomas that only has two. Okay? And the microwave, when you cut it on, now there is a remote connectivity / chip that was embedded into the microwave that will allow for the controlling of the microwave. Now this is how it works. When you cut the microwave on, now look, remember this. When you don't cut the microwave on and your timer is not set, what is it that the microwave is doing? The light is blinking, isn't it? So somewhere along the line, a microwave may carry the same componency that a car carries, which is connected to a sensory, right? Of course. Of course. Now, when you use that microwave, you cut it on, now I'm going to tell you, something's automatically activated, okay? Something's already modulated, it's already working. Now, that microwave from another connectivity through a chip, which was placed in the wiring skeletal system of the microwave, would allow someone to press a button while the microwave is in use, or just automatically turn on when the microwave is in use. It'll activate that connectivity through the wiring. It would allow a person from even city water line power to watch you, monitor you, know what your house number is by the meter. See, the meter is a number associated and coordinated with how they watch and view you. They'll sit in a room full of controls, and that's what they'll do. And from other places, they'll cut your microwave up, giving your food high dosages of radiation. Now, those high dosages of radiation does something to your food, okay? And those whole high dosages of radiation, now let me tell you this, remember this. Remember, and I want you to all remember this, okay? And I want you to let this be a lesson learned, okay? That whenever you're around a human being, now watch this here, when they cut that radiation up on high dosages, do you not understand one thing and one thing only? Who's around and who collects the food from the microwave, ladies and gentlemen? A human being. So when you pull your food out, it's emitting, by the time your food is done, it's been emitted so much radiation. Yeah, especially if you put it on a minute. Yeah, that radiation is, by the time you go sit down, if that food that you're eating doesn't taste like you, because radiation mixes everything together, which means you're going to be eating yourself, okay? So your food If it doesn't directly taste like remains right then and there, now watch this here. Check this out. You're going to go later on. You're going to use that microwave again. They're going to get you another high dosage. So there's going to be radiation, depending on the amount of radiation, it could take a while for that radiation to wear off. Which means you're going to go, now watch, into your house, and you're going to eat something. I'm going to give you another way. And it's going to taste like remains, even though it's not. Now, there are depictions that it will. There's another part to this. There's two more parts. When that happens, guess what happens? You automatically assume that the store sold you bogus food because you have no knowledge of what the electronic is you're using or have in your house. Now, another way is through the ventilation shaft. You see, when it comes to the city here, I'm pretty sure they understand that Alan Dent knows everything already. And you want me to tell you something? Most people will say, yes, it was a very bad mistake tampering with this dude here. Because this information that he's giving out is going to get someone in very big trouble. Someone's going to lose their job. And somebody's probably going to they're going to overrun the facilities, and most people are going to get fired because of it. And all of it will come out in the open, you know. And that's not a good thing, but it's a bad thing because, you know, you shouldn't be able to control or have controls in certain areas to people's houses and their electronics. Now look, I could go to any store right now and walk in there and I could dismantle a microwave and I could actually take a piece from the microwave and plant it in another device and show just exactly how it would connect to a device in your facilities. That'd be the easy part. That'd be so easy. It wouldn't even take me that long. The only part that would take long is me taking it apart. That'd be the only bad part. But anyway, now, once again, the ventilation shafts, okay? That is the next component. Now, in the ventilation shaft, okay, they have things set up in the ventilation shaft. Okay, now look. They've done this in prison, okay? Okay, and now watch this here. The ventilation shafts in prisons, do you ever wonder why those giant ventilation shafts are there, but they're never even used? So they got an alternate ventilation shaft. When the heat comes on, you can feel the heat or the cold air. But then you got this big old square one that you wonder why it's never used. First and foremost, they were given a protocol that if we ever went to war to kill all the prisoners. That's what I heard a bunch of guards talking about. And second of all, through that ventilation shaft, they administer that strange one, oxidants into the air secretly that sedate people for the coming in the room and taking blood, or, oh, we're giving this person insulin and this and that, okay? See, the prisons were caught doing this, okay? And when the prisons were caught doing this, they gave up their right to a private domain. That's been changed because they're under review, which I've seen. But when you go look at the homes and you see ventilation systems like up at the top and all of that, okay, they're connected to, let's just say, some essential air units, okay? Do you guys really know what an essential air unit is? Okay? Most of them are controlled by meters. But let me ask you this. Now watch this here. I want y'all to hear me loud and clear. We do know City Water, Light and Power, Ameren, all of them, they control those meters. What do you think a thermostat on your damn wall is? It's nothing more than a damn meter. That's all it is. It's a meter, and they can read it. So when you cut on, you go to the meter, you read it first, and then you turn up. What does it do? Now look at this here. City Water, Light, and Power. Let me show you something. They have, tell me this, do they not have access to the meter when it comes to your lights? The only thing they may have to come out and use a tool to cut off is your water. But and that's not all of that's real. But let's go back and let's look at this here. When you go and you look at your lights and they say, we're going to shut you off tomorrow, and you at your house all day, nobody come out, but all of a sudden you looking at the TV and you're like, what stops in the house also? The thermostat that's on the wall, right? You can't cut anything on, right? So you mean to tell me they don't have access to other components in your house that are also connected to the same damn wiring? And when you plug something up, that component or electronic or device becomes also a part of the wiring and electrical current that is controlling the electronics in your house? Of course it does. Of course. You see, you have to understand metal is a conductor too. Because I'm going to tell you this. If they couldn't control all the other devices you stick in the wall, you'd be able to go in there to stick a cord in that wall and your lights will still come on, whether they cut this off. No. If they cut that electricity off without coming out to your house, they have control of every fucking electronic in your house with the use of an electrical current. Okay? And through that electrical current, they can mess with your stuff. Electrical currents send signals, okay? They send signals. They send different signals, okay? Yes. They send signals, okay? I'm going to tell you something. They send signals no different than a wired telephone plugs into the wall, needs to be plugged into the wall. A wired phone needs to be plugged into the wall, and you call someone, okay, from over, let's just say, from in the country. It's rare that you get international calls from overseas on those phones, those older phones. That's rare. But whenever, you got to look at it, whenever you plug a phone into the wall, just like them older phones, and you make a phone call, okay, the reason why that phone is able to communicate with another phone is through the electrical current, the signal the electrical current is sending. Okay? Believe it or not, all of your electrical currents in most likely the entire country are connected. Okay? They're all connected. And they're all connected through power lines. Power lines don't just run through your houses. They run underground. They run inside of wood, as you can see. Now, this is the thing. When you make a phone call and that electrical current is giving off a signal, It's sending a certain signal or encryption through the electrical current. Okay, that electrical current goes through the power lines. It runs as an instant message at the speed of light. Electricity is light. It makes it to the phone with the matching encryption. How does it have that? Because everything's connected. The encryption's not hidden. You see what I'm saying? There's free encryption, and then you have hidden encryption. And encryption is anything that, hey, guess what? I got your passcode, you got my passcode. Okay. These other people don't got it. The only way I can get your passcode, your encryption, which is your telephone number, that's your encryption. That's why you have to dial. So when you dial someone's phone number / encryption, the signal through the current of the electricity and then through the power line knows exactly where to go. Because it's already registered in the database. It's already on file. Whenever you plug it up, that electrical current, that phone number, in order to get a phone number, you have to be registered through a company. That company registers your phone number through numerous amounts of databases. They set it up where it can receive signals, okay, through the electrical current, through electricity, and through the power line. So when they set it up, and that's a whole nother story, but when they set it up, it's now registered. It's now called being online. So when I call your number / encryption, because it's registered online and it has a location and it's all connected in the database, guess what? The signal through the electrical current will know exactly where to go to find it. It knows exactly where to go. That's how it works. That's exactly how it works. So when you look at the ventilation shaft, look, when you cut that air on, or you cut that heat on, they could put, I'm going to tell you something. Not all of the ventilation shafts are controlled, but they got a facility, man. They got ventilation shafts by meter number. Okay, this is meter. Hey, guess what? Go over to meter 1 and put this in there, please. Put a dead rat in there, okay? And meter number 1. You know what I'm saying? They'll go, and I'm pretty sure wherever it's underground or it's not, doesn't make a difference. They'll stick a dead rat in here. And what they'll do is they can also initiate cutting it on too from your devices that are connected to them secretly, just mildly. Now watch. Most of the time, they'll wait for you to either cut your air on. They know you're going to use the microwave, so they're going to wait. You're going to cut the microwave on. Now look at this here. After you use the microwave, you got your air, you got the heat on, they'll just take a dead rat. You ever wonder where that heat flow comes from, that air comes from? It comes from components that they have. Yes. It ain't that just that essential air unit thing. Tell me this. So you mean to tell me it's taking air from outside? No, it's not just taking air from outside. No. They got generators, man, that generate heat. Oh, my heat's not working. They'll say, all right, well, we're gonna come out and we're gonna check your essential air unit. That essential air unit is nothing more than a decoy connected to the bigger components in a facility that they got somewhere. You ever go underground and you see them little spinny things? Woof, woof, woof. You ever know what those things are for? That's all you gotta do is just look at it. They got gigantic fans, man. Gigantic fans. They got gigantic pieces of equipment that send flow through tunnels and pipes through the underground, and those pipes and tunnels through houses are connected even to ventilation shafts that come from above. If you go look at your essential air unit, I bet you this, it has to be connected to something underground. You ever think about that? And the meter is not too far from it. So that's the underlay for the overplay. The essential air unit is used to hide that. And when they put a dead rat in the main ventilation shaft, guess what? It could be all the way over by city water, light, and power, or anywhere underground or in a facility that you don't realize. It's nearby. It has to be in this town. And they may have numerous amounts of those little areas they got at a facility like that hidden, that is connected to each area in the town. Okay? In each and every town. That's what they got. That's how it's set up. They put a dead rat in that ventilation shaft. As soon as you cut your air on, it's going to have to come from a main fan or piece of equipment that emits heat and cold air. And when it does, because I'm going to tell you this, Freon, when do you got to go spray an essential air unit with Freon? Remember, you don't. Ooh, you don't. Because they're trying to avoid using Freon because there's problems with Freon. Freon has been known to make people sick. It's not real. So they go ahead and they put a dead rat in there. You cut on while your air on, or when you cut your air on, you know what I'm saying? You got the air from a dead rat flowing through your whole damn, because you're going to smell it. Air pushes. You got the DNA of that rat being pushed. Oof, 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 oof. You got the DNA of that dead rat being pushed. And it's going to make it to your system rapidly. And you're going to go get up and you're going to go cut that damn microwave on. You're going to turn up that radiation. And I'm going to tell you this. You're going to be eating. You're going to have the DNA of a dead rat in that order on your food. And you're going to have yourself mixed in. So you're most definitely going to be eating some bullshit. That is exactly how they do it. And if I wanted to be technical, I could break it down even better than that. I could tell you something else that people don't want you to know. If they have the power to come out to your house and shut your water off, they have the components. They know where the pipes are. They could put stuff in your water supply. You see, supposedly each and every house has a thing where they come out and they cut the water off. But let me show you this. The water is not coming from multitudes of different places, maybe rivers. You all share water flow from a dam that's filtering water. And in those facilities, they have different ones. They have each and every house with a valve running underground to a main pipe. And that main pipe runs to each and every city or whichever dam in that city. And guess what? When they come out, that main pipe runs to yours over here. And then it runs to theirs over here. And then it runs to theirs over here. Now watch this here. Now check this out. they'll come out and they'll cut your water off. They're closing something that keeps the water flow from going from the main line into your house. Now, look at this here. They have a thing, they have controls and pulleys that would release the neighbor's sewer into your water flow, okay? They have main lines like that that'll run it straight. They'll run it straight into your water. That's what they do. That's exactly how it works. They got valves. Each and every house has a valve in the ground connected to it. You probably got 3 or 4 valves connected to your house, but there's one thing that if they twist it, it'll shut it off. Okay? And then when you open it up, there's 3 valves there, okay? Connected to a main line. 3 valves. And in the back, there's a valve here that splits you off from the neighbor. But there's 3 valves, okay, that'll run each. You got one for your waste. One for your waste. You got one for your clean, your hot water, your cold water. And you might have 4, just depending on how it goes. And the whole key of this whole thing over there is when they cut, they let that main valve up. The only 2 valves that should be available is your hot water and your cold water, which is cut off, okay? Which is cut off. They have things that heat that water, okay? How do you think your water get that damn hot? How do you think? You see what I'm saying? That's what plumbers know. If people see water line power, those are plumbers, electricians. That's what they are, plumbers and electricians. They know how to connect that shit like that. If you cut your hot water pressure up, you ain't making your hot water hotter, you just cutting the pressure up. You can cut the pressure down. Because if there was no valves there to cut everything off, you wouldn't have no hot or cold water. Your hot and your cold water gonna be mixed together. You're gonna have some lukewarm shit. So you know they got valves. And if you go look at it, you go look at your wash and dry, you got your hot and you got your cold. You got your red and you got your goddamn blue. But there's another valve too. Don't get it twisted. They can open all the valves. Sewer run right through your shit. Now they can take from your meter, they'll know which house you live. That's how they identify you. Go over to meter 2 and put this in the water supply. They'll put that in your motherfucking water supply. The water don't be bad. They be putting that shit in your water supply. Because if they said something is wrong with the motherfucking water, that's a big ass lawsuit on City Water, Light and Power. If you get sick from drinking water here, or you find any wrong thing in that damn water, they sued off the back. Because supposing you would have gave kids that water to drink, they guarantee you their services fully when you pay for it. Period. And that's all I had to say, ladies and gentlemen, about that whole ordeal. And no, I have no desire for that crazy ass lady. That's over with. But that's just how the game go. And that's just how it's going to be. You see, y'all got a lot to learn about your thermostats. You see, And believe it or not, city water, light, and power might have slipped you. Look at your vehicle and tell me what your sensor is. Go on, look at it. Tell me what it is. And then tell me if you got an auxiliary cord hookup or Bluetooth or Wi-Fi component in your vehicle, what you think is happening. Ooh, ooh. And it's just like that, ladies and gentlemen. But I'm going to end this video and I'm going to start another one here in a minute. Pow. That'd be me. And check out my page. Check out my page.